Hey everybody, it's Ginger here, and it's October 1st, and I celebrated my very first month of making $2,000 as a freelance music producer, songwriter, singer, things like that. And so I wish I could have seen this video when I first started. I'm going to explain the exact steps I took from starting with absolutely no freelancing experience to making $2,000 a month. And I did watch a couple of videos when I started. I'm gonna say that in this video, but I wish that there was just a clear video explaining the process and the exact steps you take to go from zero to, whatever your goal is per month. So, the first thing that you have to do is obviously step number one, pick how you're gonna make the money, what job you're gonna do, what service or what site you're gonna be on, Fiverr, Freelancer, Upwork, all that kind of stuff. And so you just must decide what you're going to be selling. I'm a music producer, and decide what site you're going to be on. For my journey, when I first started, I didn't really know what I was going to be doing. I didn't really know what kind of freelancer I was going to be. I edit audio, I sing, I write songs, I edit videos I edit photos. I've done all this stuff. I've built websites, I've done sales funnels, I've done lots. And so I had no idea what people would need that I offered. And so I just started by picking my site, and I was gonna do, I think I started trying Fiverr. I never had any luck with Fiverr until now. And I can explain how I did that. But I started with Upwork. I did some research when I started. This is also something you must do when you start. Just look up, how do other people do this? How do other people freelance, and what do they do? And so I did that, and I looked up what freelancing sites there are, what are the best ones for musicians, etc., etc. And I just did tons of research. And so I found that Freelancer was really cool to me because you can work on Freelancer, whereas Fiverr, you just create a gig and people, hopefully find you. With Freelancer, what I liked was the fact that you can message as many people as you want, and you can send as many proposals, which is what they're called. You can send as many proposals as you want, and you can work your ass off every single month to try to get a job. You can't do that on Fiverr. You can only create 5 gigs in the beginning, or at least at this point, that's what I could do. And I don't roll like that. I wanted to be able to hustle. I wanted to be able to send proposals and message people. And so I did that. That's why I picked Upwork, and I highly recommend Upwork. And I watched videos. I watched how do you make money as a freelancer, and this brings me to step number 2. Step number 2 is take any gig you get, literally anything for any price. It helps so much because it builds your credibility. It shows on your profile that you've made sales, you've gotten gigs and stuff. And do anything, and give it your best, have fun, just try new things, see what you like the most. My first job, I'm pretty sure this was my very first job on Upwork. I took TikTok videos for somebody's brand, and it was really kind of fun. I dressed nice, and I took these 15-second videos, and I took a 3-minute recording of somebody's script they wanted me to say, and with a white background, and I just did whatever I could, because at this point, small backstory, I had just moved to South Africa, or I had just started the vacation there, and I had no income. I was busking back in America, and I had gigs, and that was my income. Came to South Africa, I had no income, so I needed to make money. So I was sort of desperate. I think that helped a lot, because I was, willing to take whatever I could. I was humble. And so I took those gigs, and the first real gig that I was excited to get was a podcast intro creation. That was where it all started for me. But enough about me, back to the steps. So step number 2, take as many gigs as you can for whatever price. This builds your credibility. Step number 3 is start figuring out what you do, and then start taking more and more of those jobs and forgetting the jobs that, for instance, for me, forgetting the jobs creating TikTok videos. I didn't want to do that as a career, so I focused more on music and production and songwriting. There's a little bug flying around. So step number 3 is just start, realizing what jobs you're enjoying and do more of those and look for more jobs like that. On Upwork, I just started looking, songwriting, singing, production, and all these jobs would come up, and I just started saying, okay, well, that's what I'm enjoying, and those are the jobs I'm going to take. So by this point, you've made a couple of gigs, you've gotten a couple of gigs, and you're starting to see what you like doing, and you're making a little bit of money here and there. And once you start figuring out what you like doing, that's when you really start creating awesome stuff for clients, epic stuff, and they leave reviews. And when you have reviews, it helps so much, and people can see that you're awesome and you do awesome work. So yeah, step number 5, I think I'm on 5. I might be on 4. I think I'm on 5. Step number 5 is to really get clear on what your monetary goals are and start asking yourself, how many clients do I need to get in order to reach that monetary goal? And for instance, my first goal was $1,000 a month. And I was like, okay, well, if I make, $100 per song, then I'll have to have 10 clients to make $1,000. So within this step, this is when you up your prices to be able to reach the goal that you have. So when you up your prices, it feels weird and you feel like you're doing it and you don't really need to, and you feel like you're just being self-serving and egotistical, like, oh, I'm gonna boost my prices. But in all honesty, you're boosting your prices because it's in the best interest of your clients. When you have higher prices, you take on less clients per month, which means that you're able to give quality work for every single client that you have. So it benefits the client. And if anybody asks, just say something like that. Step number 6 is, you've had your prices boosted, you are on a freelancing website and you like it, you know which gigs you're doing, you know which kind of jobs you like. Number 6 is to create a portfolio. And you can do this first if you have work and you have examples of your work that you can put on your website or SoundCloud or whatever or Instagram, wherever you put your stuff. But for me, I created a website, and I actually just recently did this. I just revamped my website with all my stuff. And I have a website with all of my testimonials, very important to have, all of the songs I've worked on, and my different list of services. I do production, mixing and mastering, and songwriting. And I sing, but of course all of my vocals are in a lot of those songs. So when you have your portfolio, you can send people and say, hey, here's my link, check me out. Even if they're not on your freelancing website, you can, send people on Facebook if you're talking to them, or send it to friends if they maybe want to use your services. But it's very important to have this portfolio, because if you have a portfolio, you're way ahead of a lot of other freelancers, because a lot of other freelancers don't have a portfolio. And this makes you look awesome and super legit and professional. My freelancing website is gingerwin.com, because I got my website 12 years ago and gingerwin.com was available. So pick a name that explains what you do and maybe has your name or whatever, your brand. But yeah, this just makes you look awesome and makes you look like you're taking it serious. You're paying for a domain, a website domain, the .com. You're paying for a website host like Wix. I use WordPress. So it shows you're taking it serious. Tip number 7. I'm just, creating these tips as I go, because there's no point in writing it down. I'm just explaining my journey. Tip number 7 is to really focus on repeat business. Most of my clients that I had this month were repeat. I have 2 high-paying clients. One of them is a co-writer I used to work with, and one of them is their friend. And so they both, offer to pay me quite a bit because we're buddies, and they, know I do great stuff, and they wanted to work with me. So, when you're working with people, give them the best work. Always, say, hope to work with you again soon, or, things like that. Insinuate that you would love. My power just went on. One of the beauties of South Africa is they shut your power off every once in a while, or twice a day sometimes. So anyways, Most of my clients have been people that I've worked with again, and just, as you're working with them, mention, you'd love to work together again soon, ask them, do you have any other songs you'd like to work on in the future or whatever? Just kind of get an idea of, are they future clients? And if they sound like a future client, in a couple of weeks, this is what I've done, and this works great. I usually get at least 1 or 2 clients from doing this, or 1 or 2 jobs, but in the next few weeks, message these people who sound like they want to work with you again, message them and say, hey, how's your project coming? Or, hey, do you have any other songs you need produced or any other websites you need built or whatever you do? And just ask them. And they might say, hey, I'm good. Hope you're good too. I don't have anything to work on right now, but I'll let you know when I do. Or they might say, hey, I've been thinking about you. I actually have this new song that I want you to produce, which is what happens to me quite a bit. And, you're just shooting your little fishing lines and then reeling in people that you catch when you do that. And this is really fun for me. I like sending emails to people and getting jobs. But that's pretty much all I've done. And this is a little bonus tip. Make yourself hungry and make yourself put yourself in a position where you have to succeed. I don't mean, quit your job and move out and have to make money that day. But in my position, I've always wanted to be a freelancer, and I've been trying for years, and I've taken business classes and whatnot, but I've never done it. I've never taken the time and done the work, the very hard work that it takes to, do what I'm doing now. I've never done it in my life, and the only reason that I've done it now is because I had to. As I said, I was in South Africa and I had no income, and I had to make this work and put in the hours. So put yourself in a position where you have to make it work, and you can't just say, oh, I'll do this one day. And if you're really serious, don't put yourself in a position where you say, oh, I'll do this one day, I'll do this tomorrow, I'll do a little here today, and then next week I'll do a little there. No, that does not work. It's never worked for me. Maybe it works for other people, it does not work for me. Put yourself in a position where you have to put in the freaking work and work 8 hours a day in the beginning, which is what I was doing. I don't have to do that now. I only work a few hours a day. But in the beginning, on Upwork, this is a pro tip also, I had to send, for a week, I had to send 40 people proposals on Upwork, which means I was basically inquiring about 40 different jobs that were available on Upwork. If I didn't do that, I would not be where I am today. And that's just part of being the freelancer. You have to try really hard. And I was thinking in my head, my theory, this will be my last thing I'm saying, but my theory was, if I'm sending 40 proposals a day for a week, that's 4 times 7, which is a lot. 40 times 7, I don't know the math, but it's a lot. And in my mind, I was thinking, I don't have any reviews on my profile. I'm brand new. I've made no money on Upwork, or I've made just a few dollars, or I've made none when I initially started. But if I email 40 people a day, one person is bound to get me and use me and pick my service. Because I was thinking, it's just the odds. The odds are, if I do that, at least one person will choose me. And that's what happened. So these are my tips. I think this was 7 tips to getting started as a freelancer and going from $0 to $2,000 a month. Also, this took me, I started at the end of March, so April, May, June, July, August, September, October. It's the beginning of October, so it took me about 6 months to go from $0 to $2,000, but in my first month, I think I made about $200 or so. So gradually, I've 10x'd my income in 6 months. So maybe in 6 months, I'll 10x it again. That should be my goal. Wow, $20,000 a month, I can't imagine. Anyways, I hope this helps somebody. I maybe should put together a course on this, how to 10x your income in 6 months as a freelancer. I don't know, but maybe that'd be cool. Maybe it would help somebody. If anybody wants that, then comment below that you would like to see that course.